Arancini is a little orange. That's exactly the definition of an arancini. But it's kind of a slang word that's been given to an Italian dish. They're little fried risotto balls. The reason why they're called arancini is because they're meant to resemble little oranges. We're gonna make these today. The first step in making arancini is making risotto. You're gonna have to watch that video, and you can check that out right here, and I'll leave it in the description below as well, because it's kind of pivotal. You can't make arancini without risotto, or risotto, or however you wanna say it. So let's walk through the ingredients here. This is actually very simple. You've probably seen this 1,000 times, so I'm not gonna belabor it too much, but I'll go through everything that's needed. We'll kind of walk through the prep and we'll fry some up today. How's that sound? If you're new to the channel, give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Let me know that you're new here. I love learning about the viewers of the channel, so I want to get to know you. So definitely leave a comment. I respond to every comment, so all your comments are really important to me. So to get started, we have our risotto. Now, this is chilled, it's cold. It's as cold as can be. It's almost hard as a rock. I laid it out on a sheet pan to kind of help along with this process. I actually want my arancini to be similar to that orange in size. So what I'm actually gonna do is cut this with a knife to kind of get the guesswork out of it. So what we're gonna do after that, we're gonna roll them into ball shapes, and then we're gonna roll it in flour, and then we're gonna dip it in egg, and then breadcrumb, and then we fry them up. It's as simple as that. Let's go through this on a couple. So I have my breading station. I have my risotto, which I've cut, I don't know if you can see, but I cut it into a grid. I'm hoping, I'll show you kind of, pull one out. This is just rough. I want to just get them to be approximately the same size. That's kind of the size that they're going to be. Now, I'm going to roll this into a ball, and then flour, going to beat up these eggs, breadcrumb, and onto the plate. So that's the plan. Let's get it. Rewind a little bit. I've rolled a few of these so far. Now I like to do them in batches. I'll do a few, I'll go to the egg and then the breadcrumb. Notice this is like a golf ball, right? It's nowhere near as flowy as it was last time when we made the risotto. It firms up in the refrigerator. You have all that cheese, all that butter. What ends up happening is butter's a solid at refrigerated temperature. It becomes butter again. And now this is really workable, and you end up with these balls. What's gonna happen when these go in the deep fryer is that butter's gonna melt again, and now it's gonna be encased in breading. That's gonna make it have a nice creamy interior, kind of like a fried mac and cheese ball. That's kind of the effect here. You wanna serve these kind of warm so that you get that effect. And I want these to be like 2 or 3 bites. So that's kind of why I went with this size. You can make them smaller, you can make them larger. Typically when they're larger, they're stuffed with things. The Sicilian tradition is to stuff it with a bolognese style sauce and some peas and a little piece of fresh mozzarella, so that when you open it up, it's almost like a volcano of like amazing things that burst out of it. I've seen arancini served with vodka sauce, pesto. This is one of those dishes that there's really no hard and fast way to do it. So here's the finished product. I left the little orange there so that you can kind of see that it definitely resembles in shape. Now that I have everything made, what I'm actually gonna do is heat up a little bit of oil and fry up a couple. These are getting transported with me unfried to a party, and I'm actually gonna treat the guests to fried, fresh arancini. So I'm gonna kind of hide myself in a room and fry out a few of these hors d'oeuvres. It made 30. I think I'll fry up 4 right now. So we'll walk in with 26. That's a good amount for some people. This is meant to be a treat. It's kind of a limited edition. I don't break this out often. Let's deep fry these. I'll show you kind of my quick setup to get this done. I don't condone doing it this way because it's technically not a deep fry. It kind of gets the job done quickly. Not everybody always has access to a giant vat of hot oil. This is a good technique. You just need to attend to it a little bit more. So here's my arancini. I have a very small saucepan with about a cup of oil. The idea is the oil is gonna expand a little bit as it heats up. The volume of the arancini, as these get added in here, are going to make the oil level rise. Let's get frying these. I have my heat right now at like a medium high. Now I have 4 here in this size pan. You don't want to crowd them, so I'm actually just going to do 2 at a time. I'm going to drain them on a paper towel. On this, I'm going to use the same plate. Why not? Why dirty an extra dish for something that's just going to be eaten right away? So the way you check if your oil's ready is if you put a piece of breadcrumb in there and it toasts right up. And you can even put it in when it's cold, and when it comes up to the top toasted, it's ready. So you see that little guy is ready. I'm going to back my heat down a little bit. If you had a thermometer, you want to measure the heat, it would be about like 375, between 350 and 375. So we'll go in with one, and you can see it's lightly bubbling around it. The reason why I don't condone doing it this way is because the oil temperature is going to drop pretty drastically, because the ratio of arancini to oil is actually pretty high. You just have to be really good at regulating the heat on this. They're not totally submerged, so those are going to need a flip at some point. And the bottom may end up getting a little bit of a crust because they're directly exposed to the heat. And you'll see it's going to be just as good as deep fried, if not better in a couple ways. It's basically 3 to 4 minutes on each side. The first side probably needs a little more time than the second side. But just remember, these are fully cooked. So all you're really doing is crisping up the breadcrumb outside. You're trying to melt the risotto a little bit. Just make it a little more molten than it is. Because right now it's kind of a big block of butter and cheese with rice dispersed throughout it. Now working with these is a little bit delicate too, because they are going to be kind of molten, but they are going to have a good structure to them. The idea is to really not poke at them too much. You'll see when I hit them with the tongs, I'm going to kind of flip them over a little gingerly and almost not even make contact with it. These are frying along nicely. I'm going to give these a flip. You see, like I said, there's a little bit of a crust there just because that's in contact with the bottom of the pot. These guys are just about ready. See that? I'm going to fry them on their sides too a little bit. And you don't want to overdo it for sure, because these have a tendency of getting pretty dark. You don't want to burn them. And that's it. Now I'm going to pull these out. Nice and crispy. And we'll go in with the others. That's looking perfect.
Perfect.
So those are our arancini. Now we are ready to try these arancini. But first, I want to introduce you to my cameraman. Cameraman, what's your name?
Nella.
And what are we doing today?
Making cheese balls.
Close, rice balls.
Rice balls. Now what are we doing today, Dad?
We are going to try arancini. So what I would like to do is see if you can see. You see how it's molten inside, kind of the same way as the risotto was. Let's take a bite.
And then how it goes.
It tastes really good. It tastes like the risotto, but with a nice shell around it. Nice and crunchy.
What are we doing, buddy?
Okay, Noah, it's your turn to try. Here, take a bite.
Good.
What does it taste like?
Mac and cheese.
That's why I said this is kind of like an Italian version of a fried mac and cheese ball, because that's exactly what he said. And what are these called, buddy?
Rice balls.
They're called rice balls, or arancini. Say thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Subscribe.
So this is just meant to be a treat. There's going to be little things picked on at the party. So maybe we can get a reaction or two out of somebody. Let's see.
Well, this is the moment of truth. I'm going to try Jerry's rice balls for the first time that he made with the risotto. Let me see how they are.